If you ask me who my best friend is, I will not hesitate to tell you that my best friend is my husband. He treats me like a queen, he lifts me up, he makes me feel like I'm the only woman in the world, and I honestly can't imagine it any other way. Unfortunately, that's not the case for everyone. On today's case, Ms. Smith says that her husband is the complete opposite. She says he regularly calls her ugly, humiliates her in public, and sneaks around with other women. She's here in my courtroom because she says she is fed up with his demeaning behavior and she's demanding a change today. Let's hear their case.
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Starr presiding. Your Honor, this is the case of Smith versus Smith.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Smith, Mr. Smith. Mrs. Smith, you say your marriage is broken. The lies, the belittlement, and your husband's problematic behavior has led you to the conclusion that divorce is the only option.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Smith, you say you're here to save your marriage. You admit your actions have negatively impacted on your wife, but you want a chance to redeem yourself.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mrs. Smith, you all have been married now, as I look at my court papers, married 3 years, but you've been together for 8 years. You share a 5-year-old, and you have 2 daughters, and he has 2 sons from a previous relationship. And that means there's some stake in here, that there's some children that are involved, and they're all young. Ms. Smith, why are we in court today?
I'm fed up. I'm fed up with this marriage. The last 3 years of this marriage, he has gotten too comfortable. I just don't know how to feel anymore around him. I used to be a queen. He used to make me feel like I was the only thing in the room, like put me on a pedestal. But now it's just, I'm fed up. I can't do it anymore. I just want co-parenting.
And so, Mr. Smith, you heard your wife. She basically says enough is enough. She's tired of being the only person working in this relationship. What do you say, sir?
Your Honor, I say that the reason I'm here is to save my marriage. There's plenty of fish in the sea, as they used to say, but she's the only fish that I see. I love her dearly, and I really want to save my marriage.
So I hear what you're saying, Mrs. Smith. Mrs. Smith, I need to find out if there's anything left to save. As I said, you've been married 3 years. It'll be 3 years this summer. But you've been together 8 years, so there's a whole lot of history there. Why don't you tell me a little bit about how you met and what led us to get to the point where we're in divorce court?
We met through a mutual friend at my job. I needed my brakes done on my car. So the mutual friend said, I know a nice guy that can do your brakes. So I reached out to him about doing my brakes. He did not do my brakes. But we ended up talking. It was during Hurricane Matthew season. So we ended up talking, texting each other back and forth. He didn't have any lights and water. I still had lights and water. So I offered for him to come over. I cooked for him. He took a shower. I let him have my room. I slept downstairs. And from there, it was history.
But what went wrong?
He just got too comfortable, Your Honor.
Really? When you say he got too comfortable, I know you say that it started with really the belittlement.
For instance, we had a little get-together over the house. There was family there. And, we was all talking about how, why we got married, why was we married, what we love about our spouses. And he speaks out, he just blurts out, oh, I got married because she got pregnant.
Ooh.
I don't want to pay child support. So I'm sitting there like, oh my gosh, did he really just say this? Like at this point, I'm feeling like down with myself. I feel embarrassed. I can't believe he said that.
Wow, Mrs. Smith, that was kind of intense. Why would you say something like that in front of all them people?
Your Honor, she's always in my conversation, and I was talking to my friends at the time, made a little side joke, and I told them, I said, watch, she gonna take this and make it something big. Didn't mean no harm about it or nothing like that.
Yes, you did, because you wouldn't have said it.
But
that was the whole point.
I was embarrassed because I really got pregnant.
Your
and we
Honor,
really got married, like literally.
I didn't mean no harm about it, Your Honor.
So, but Mrs. Smith, you really did have an accidental pregnancy, correct?
Correct.
And Mr. Smith, you actually did make the decision to get married.
Correct.
As a result of the accidental pregnancy.
Correct.
So I'm imagining for your wife, it's a bit sensitive that you didn't like drop to one knee and say, I'm so in love with you, you are my queen, because you felt that. You felt an obligation because she was pregnant, and then you all tried to figure it out and to make a life together. So you know that already hurt your wife. You know that.
She just so sensitive, Your Honor.
But I would understand her being sensitive about that.
She's very so sensitive about everything.
So is that true, Mrs.
But
Smith?
Your Honor,
let me give you another example.
I can sit here and joke around.
One day when he was
Give me 1 second.
One day he was getting ready for work. I was getting ready for work. We both work. I work 12 hours. He worked 12 hours. So I don't have time to get my hair done professionally. I take care of my kids. I take care of my mother also. So I put my hair in silly braids. He said, "Why you walking around here looking like Silly from Color Purple?"
So what's silly braids? Meaning just
some plaits.
Just
and
some
I
plaits.
put like a little, little hair scarf or something on it, and I go to work.
Well, the kind of job you do, does it require you to have your hair done or anything?
No, I'm a nurse. We can cover our hair.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be just up in there taking care of the folk. You put a scarf on, you good to go.
It doesn't really matter how my hair looks. I'm already black, fat, with 3 kids, and you just come out and say I look like Silly from Color Purple.
Well, first of all, I think you're beautiful. That's number one.
Thank you.
And number two, your hair looks gorgeous. Thank you. What you also don't know is I've been obsessing since 3:30 this morning, my hand to God, on what my goddess braids are going to look like this summer, because I'm gonna have my hair braided.
Thank you.
I just want you to know that you would not know, but that is a true story.
Yes.
I couldn't sleep last night. I woke up early as I've been obsessing on how I want these braids to look. So I don't want you to sit there and put yourself in anybody's category. Baby, stand in the space God has created for you. You don't let nobody define you. I am the author of the only dictionary that defines me. You better say that. I am the author of the only dictionary that defines me. And by the way, Sealy won at the end, and Mr. was the one standing there looking ignorant. So you might want to check yourself on being insulting about Sealy.
We was cleaning up, and I'm like, "Can you help me clean up after the birthday party?" He looks at me, he was like, "Well, that's what I married you for." When he does that in front of the kids, it makes the kids not wanting to respect me.
Not true, Your Honor. I don't belittle her in front of the kids.
Regardless of what you think, that's how she feels. Mrs. Smith, it sounds to me like you've been losing yourself. Because I know that the belittling has bothered you. It actually, has been in front of your children.
Yes. My daughter had a birthday party, and we was cleaning. Must I remind you both of us work? We was cleaning up, and I'm like, "Can you help me clean up after the birthday party? Like, can you at least do the outside, and I'm gonna do the inside." He looks at me, he was like, "Well, that's what I married you for." I'm like, "So you married me to be a maid?" But when he does that in front of the kids, it makes the kids not wanting to respect me.
Not true, Your Honor.
When he talk like that,
Not true.
when he talk like that to me in front of the kids,
Listen to her.
the kids don't want to, especially my son, because he doesn't respect me at all.
Listen to your wife.
They respect him, but just because the way he talks to me, I must say, likely he has been trying to change, but we've been together for almost 8 years, and you've been doing it for so long that they don't even respect me.
Mr. Smith, the reason I stopped you is because I wanted you to hear what your wife was saying. Mm-hmm. Regardless of what you think, that's how she feels. Mm-hmm. And it's raw right now, Mrs. Smith.
Your Honor, I don't belittle her in front of the kids.
Well, this incident is a specific incident that she talked about.
I told her. I set up everything. I cooked everything, prepared everything. At least you can do it just...
That's not the way you said it.
It is clean up.
Did you or did you not say that's what I married you for, like you the maid?
No, ma'am.
That's a lie. Yes, you did.
Mr. Smith, I can tell just the way you...
I remember.
I can tell the way you're talking to me.
No, ma'am, I did not.
That you did belittle her. I can tell. This is the way you confront.
That's what she thinks I belittle her. I don't.
No, sir. I'm talking about what you actually said. I'm not dealing with what your intention was. What you said to her was, that's what I married you for.
No, ma'am.
You did not say that.
No, ma'am.
She's lying to me.
That's a lie.
I cannot imagine that Mrs. Smith is standing here in all these tears with
said it
all
on
that
several occasions. That's not even the only
emotion.
time.
Mr. Smith,
But
we're not going to
to-
argue, excuse me, we're not going to argue over whether or not you said it. I can tell you how it made her feel, period. You made her feel like she was the maid, and you said it in such a way that, according to her, her son now looks at her like she doesn't have to be respected. That is her perception. And more importantly, something tells me that's because her son has been being disrespectful. Am I right?
Yes, he don't even listen to me.
The reason why she say the kids don't respect her is because she let them do whatever she want. She can sit there and tell them, y'all do this, y'all do that, y'all do this. They sit there and act like they don't hear her.
Would you like me to tell you why? Because for years, they watched you disrespect her. So I don't know if you've changed in the last year or months or whatever, but they've seen you.
Your Honor.
They've seen that it doesn't matter what she thinks because you're going to get it done the way you want to get it done anyway. They saw that. So, of course, their attitude is, why I gotta listen to her?
He claimed he was paying somebody for sex. You throw the money in the yard and they come by and get it.
I have to see this.
He's throwing the money in the yard, driving to make sure that the money went in the yard.
She was everything that I wanted my wife to be.
She wears short clothes and look like a hoe.
My mouth is wide open.
Oh.
If you'd like your case to be heard on divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Missed a show? Watch full episodes on our streaming platforms and follow us on social media for exclusive content. Mrs. Smith, why do you say that he's sneaky?
I got my son a phone, and I hadn't gave it to him yet. So I was texting him, just playing on his phone. I didn't think I was gonna get a reaction to the text message. So
Who were you texting?
Him, my
Meaning
husband.
your husband?
Yes, just texting
But
him.
pretending, well, from your son's phone?
Yeah, but he didn't know the number. Like, I hadn't get my
So it comes
son the phone
across
yet.
as a miscellaneous number.
Yeah.
Okay, and what were you texting?
So the response to the text is, I was like, hey, what's up? What you doing? He just texted back, I got $60.
What?
So I'm like, $60? Okay, what we doing? Oh, meet me at the park.
But wait, I thought you said he didn't know who it was.
He didn't know who it was. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. He didn't know what it was. So evidently, this is something that's been going on. Because if I text you from a number that you don't know, and you tell me you got $60, meet you at the park.
Keep going. This story is interesting.
So he said, meet me at the park. So I go back. Nobody never meet him because, of course, it's me and I'm at work. So he texts back and say, well,
To the number that he doesn't know.
That he doesn't know. He texts back and say, I'm just going to put the money in a paper towel, go by the house, I'm going to throw it in the yard. I submitted evidence on my Ring camera where he's throwing money in the yard.
Nah. I have to see this.
He's throwing the money in the yard.
Oh.
And driving to make sure that the money went in the yard.
What did you do?
I sent my daughter outside because I couldn't believe it. And Lord knows, it was a paper towel with money in it.
Man.
So I waited a couple of days because it was almost rent time. And I'm like, I don't want to mess up my rent. And I was like, let me wait and see. And then I'm going to confront him about this.
My mouth is wide open.
No.
This is crazy.
I confronted him about this to ask him, why would you throw $60 in the yard in a paper towel? He claimed he was paying somebody for sex.
Busted,
And that's
bro.
how you pay a female for sex. You throw the money in the yard and they come by and get it.
Busted, bro.
Not true, Your Honor. What it was, Your Honor, this person had came to me and previous and had asked to borrow some money. When I got the text on my phone, this person had borrowed money, had came and asked to borrow money. I kept that. I should have told my wife about that.
Okay.
And I told her, I admit of giving her the money the first time. And the second time, I told her I admitted to that too. Yes, I put the money there because they asked for it the first time when I got that random text on my phone.
You thought it was the same person?
I thought it was the same person.
It was for sex?
And I had admitted, no, it was not for no sex.
But wait a minute, why would
That's
you...
what she assumed that
But did you tell this woman that it was for sex?
That's what he told me.
No,
that it was for sex. That he was like, I just put the money in the paper towel and she just come get it. Like, how she know where we live at? Like, it don't seem right. It seemed crazy, but
Mr.
in
Smith.
his head, that's what he said it was for sex.
Mr. Smith,
Just be honest and just tell the truth.
Mr. Smith, why would you say something like that? Come on now.
I did admit to that she was looking good. She was everything that I wanted my wife to be.
Wow.
She wears short clothes and look like a hoe. But anyways.
So you admit
Yes, I admit
to soliciting this miscellaneous woman and being willing to pay her money
Yes.
by throwing it in the yard
Yes.
in the paper towel.
Yes.
Foul, bro.
Mr. Smith.
Foul.
If she dresses up, if she does what she's supposed to do, if she makes herself look good, makes herself presentable and stuff as a wife.
I'm not gonna allow that. I'm not. What I'm not gonna do is allow you to belittle her in front of me. That might work in front of your kids, but I'm not your child. So that's not gonna happen in this courtroom, not another time. You will not put your lack of character on her shoulders, not in this courtroom. You have the lowest character of anybody who's been in my courtroom this week. I just want you to know. This is a sad and disgusting example of what a man does to a woman when he wants to beat down her self-esteem. You treat her like a doormat that you can walk over. In all honesty, you treat her like a piece of garbage in the street. This is the way you treat people that you don't care about, not somebody that you purport to love. You want to save your marriage. You don't want to save your marriage. You don't have a marriage because a marriage would require a man to be a man, and you are not a man. Let me tell you something, Miss Smith. If you cry one more tear over this sorry, trifling excuse of a man, we're gonna have a problem. Young lady, you work every day. You have a good job. You have a career. You need to stand in the space that God has created for you. You brought divorce papers here to this courtroom. Robert, get those divorce papers. Let me tell you something. If you don't walk away from this marriage, you don't need marriage counseling. You need Uber fare so that you don't have to ever depend on him another time. You have signed this information. Would you like me to serve the divorce papers to your husband? Are you ready to walk away? Or are you gonna stand there and be a doormat again?
Yes, I'm ready.
Serve the papers.
Gladly. Mr. Smith, you've been served.
Mrs. Smith, let me tell you something. This is the time that you need to leave him standing. You need to tell him that you are not anybody's doormat. Get up off the floor. Get up off the floor.
I'm self-esteem. You'll never make me feel bad again.
Walk away. That's right. Walk away. Walk away. Walk away. Walk away. Get out. Farmer Fred ran up on the wrong judge today.
Foul, trifling, piece of you-know-what.
Exactly, because let me tell you something. He was not going to beat up on her in front of me and belittle her. Oh, no.
Not here.
Case closed.
Not here.
Get out.
Made in Georgia.